What's up, everybody?
Hey,
We in that thing. We back in there like swimwear. What's going on?
Another week, another episode, the Fire Session. We got some special guests with us here today. As you all can see, we got April McLeod and we got Ira Curry. Let's get it in. And y'all already know who this person in this red is over here. He flamed out.
We flamed out. Listen, we flamed out on the daily, not just because of the show. I'm just saying.
You know how that goes. That's the man, the brand, Benji Banks. And Patricia will be joining us shortly.
Yes. We gotta have forehead in the house. We gotta have her in the house. We can't do a show without her, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to leave her forehead alone, man. You're gonna have to.
It's all right, man. You know, you gotta mess with the forehead. She got a brain in there, so you know she's straight.
That's a fact. So before we get started, y'all already know what we do. We're gonna go around and check on everybody, make sure everybody good. Miss April McLeod, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Got a little Texas cold, but I'm doing pretty good.
All right.
You know Texas cold.
Okay,
Texas folk, huh?
The
got
Texas
that cold weather going down there?
Yeah. You don't know if it's allergies, COVID, the cold, you don't know.
As long as you don't get no monkeypox, we straight.
Not yet, next year.
Do that.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
So, we see she playing, and they out here opening sarcophagus and digging up old mummies and stuff, and unleashing plagues upon the world. And we don't want that.
It's just chicken pox. That's all. They just gave the new name.
I don't know about that. I don't want this modern day chicken pox, if that's what they call it.
That's all it is.
Nah, it look too much like herpes. I'm good. I don't want that.
No.
I don't want to get it confused. You know what I'm saying? Because how we do. You know how we do, like in the Bible days when they used to have people that was on the street, what they call them, Benji, lepers. They be on the street.
Yeah, leprosy. Yes, we don't want that.
Spots on them, like, ew. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not trying to be outcast. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. Stay away.
Too much of a social misfit to be outcast. I can't be out here looking ugly. I'm just saying.
Facts. Mr. Curry, how you doing? Any relation to Mark Curry? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You know how we got to do it. We old school. We know Mark Curry.
Hey, that's my people, man. Like somewhere down the line.
or for the young people, Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
exactly. Yeah.
You got to jump shot.
Look, he don't even know we're related, but you know we are. We'll talk. But yeah, man, this week is good, man. It's a great week. I'm super ecstatic. It's productive. It's prosperous. It's happening, man. This is the week, man. I'm feeling good. It's a good week.
Sure. Good. Great energy. We appreciate you all joining us today. Like I said, this is a great topic, protecting your peace. But before we get to the topic, Benji Banks, talk to the people. I know you're having a good week, my brother.
I'm having a good week, man, but I gotta confess something, Ken.
Uh-oh.
I gotta confess something, okay? Just a quick story time, okay? All right. So last week we did this dope show, all right, and we talked about, the love, not the love languages. We talked about the communication, we talked about all those great things, we were talking about the ladies, men, and all of that great stuff, right? And I said something on the show, and I said, fellas, don't be so much in a rush to just get to that thing. You get what I'm saying? But I must confess, fellas, when a fine lady pull up on you, man, you can throw all your thoughts and ideas out the window. When she pull up, at your door with that Yeah. So I apologize, fellas. I must apologize in this moment. I see why y'all be rushing to that thing. I understand. I was made a believer, so I appreciate y'all, man. But forgive me. But yeah, I had to make that confession. I'm just saying.
Yeah, talking all that good stuff, and then you have to, hey, like the old folks say, the rubber meet the road, and you have to change the tune a little bit, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, fellas.
I just walk in on.
I'm sure y'all had some fine women pull up on y'all, and you just couldn't help yourself. All right. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to the ladies though for just looking exquisite, great and delectable and all of that good stuff. You know what I mean? Shout out to the ladies. Y'all make it hard on the brothers. I'm just saying.
This guy, I mean, yeah, I mean, Benji be at the house cooking for the ladies, whining and dining them. So, he always has some feedback. And last week he did give a lot of tips. But just like in life, sometimes we give tips and then we think about it. We be like, you know what? I was wrong.
Get them tips.
I was wrong.
What's that? What's the new thing out? F them kids. Listen, bro, F them tips.
Sometimes we say things because it sounds good in theory.
Yes.
And we have to put it into practice.
It sells. Now you can't get this at the Bible bookstore. You can only get this on YouTube on our table. So go subscribe. Yeah, you can only get this free game on there.
Yeah, Miss April. This is the type of stuff that the type of randomness that happens at times. Our audience, they know what to expect when they come. When they tune in, they already know that, hey, we're gonna say what we feel on here and we're gonna have fun, have a good time every episode. But we're gonna put the medicine in the candy, as we always say. We're gonna make sure that you get something great and something educational and something entertaining all in one.
I mean, April know what's up. Listen, man, y'all go follow April, man. She dope, man. You know what I'm saying? Texas girl. She listens, y'all. Listen, brothers. Let me tell y'all something. April is she pretty dope, man. She listens, man. You listen at her feedback, man. She give you some solid feedback. I'm just trying to tell you. And she supports my wine.
That's all. I just listen to me and
gotta give her a major props.
But you know what? You just said something very interesting that a lot of people don't do. And we talked about this a little bit last week on our subject, being intimate with people. And it's not just about the physical. Sometimes it encompasses a bunch of different stuff, but a lot of people don't listen. So they miss them. So that's how you can learn a lot about people, by just simply listening and not running your mouth so much.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay. So today we're talking about protecting your peace. So before we take a deep dive into it, we just want to know from you, each person on the panel, like, when I say protect your peace, what does that mean to you, Miss April?
Block everybody. No, just
she said block everything.
Change your name, move away. No, just playing.
Get away from all of them.
Like, who is this? No, just playing. Honestly, protecting my peace starts within my home, to be honest.
Right.
Because this is where you recharge. And ideally, you're supposed to spend most of your time at home. Of course, if you're not at work. So I start there. I try to make sure that my home is very peaceful first.
Right.
Because if you don't have a peaceful home, think about it. That's where your mood starts, when you wake up, when you come home.
Very true.
So do you think that's part of the issue when you say, you're supposed to spend a lot of your time at home? We got this new thing. We outside. So because we outside too much, you think that's part of the issue, that most people can't protect their own peace because they outside in other elements too much?
That, and I think people don't pay attention to their home life.
Right.
Whether it's cluttered, whether you just don't have things in your home that makes you at peace.
I would agree.
Different colors in your home. Like, I read an article one time pretty much it said based off of your wall color can dictate your depression, your seasonal depression.
Mm. So what wall
So
color are they talking about?
a lot of people don't know that.
You said walls
So
and wall color. Yeah.
wall color. So just think about it. If blue makes you sad and you come home and your room is blue, what are you doing to yourself? You putting yourself in a depression right then and there.
Mm.
So
That's simple things. That's very true. Color does
yeah.
have a huge effect on the way we visualize and see things.
And just things that are calming, things that are not triggering.
So if
You
you've been
have to
to
make
jail,
sure none of that is in your household.
so if you've been to jail, you might not want to paint your walls white. You want to make yes, you might want to repaint your walls when you get out. You know what I'm saying? Project when you get out, paint your walls to not resemble the same color as the jail cell because it's gonna put you back in that same mindset, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I wouldn't take it that far, but yes. I mean, it's true. You just have to pay attention. Like, there's all kind of studies out there about triggers and colors that people don't even have a clue. It could be something childhood traumas, a color that makes them think about something that happened in their childhood.
That's true.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I like red.
I think it starts in your house.
Yeah, clearly Benji likes red. And yes,
Yeah,
man.
I love red. I love red.
Yeah.
It does start at home because that's where you're at most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
where you're supposed to be most of the time.
That's where your safe space should be.
Right. If you over 35, sit down. You don't need to be outside. Sit down.
You said if you're over 35. I mean, dang, I'm gonna go out. You know what I'm saying? Give me a biscuit or something.
Okay.
Because you know a lot of people that 35 plus and maybe our age 40 plus, they outside in these streets. A lot of us got kids that's 20s and older, so it's kind of like our second life, our resurgence, and we're trying to get out in these streets. So you telling me that that's not protecting my peace if I get out here in these streets?
Well, because their home life is in shambles and they don't want to go home.
I mean, basically what she's saying is your home should be a place that you can always retreat to.
Mm-hmm. But if you always want to retreat to the streets,
because I remember Dion said one time on one of his shows that he created a life to where he doesn't necessarily have to go outside all the time. He can have everything that he desires pretty much. And of course, financially, he's well off. He created that atmosphere to where he could do everything that we are seeking to do as we get older. He could do that within the confines of his own home. If we want to go fishing, right out in the backyard to find, if you want to, farm, if you want to do this or do that, it's right there. So I typically can really agree with that because your home should be your safe haven.
Yep.
And don't be giving these people them ideas because you're talking about Dion. Dion got extra long money. He didn't build the compound.
Yeah, he got the long pay.
You don't have to have money like Dion.
It wouldn't hurt, you know what I'm saying, to have some, a little bit more resources to create that environment because like Benji was saying, like a lake. Okay, you don't have a lake in your backyard, but if you're a person who loves fishing, like you gotta find where you can go to create that same energy, maybe.
Blow up that kiddie pool and throw some fish in there and call it.
Or if you in Cali, Long Beach, go hit up Channel Island and go deep sea fishing. I did that, man, and let me tell you, it's dope. You'll be out there for several hours, but I'm telling you, it's dope. Some things you can do to get away from your situation, your circumstances that are out of your norm that will create that space for you. And you got to know what you like, though. You got to, if you don't like ratchet women, you shouldn't be going to the strip club. You know what I'm saying? So, find your space, know who you are.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: a lot of these dudes say they don't like ratchet women. They like them, but they like them for a short period of time. You know, they don't want to
a Hollywood minute.
Yeah, they don't keep them. They just want to, kick it with them for a little bit and then, move around. So, it's a little bit out there for everybody to say that.
Right.
We're going to leave it at that. Okay, Mr. Curry, Ira Curry, protecting your peace. What does that look like to you, sir?
Yeah, man, I'm heavy on protecting my peace. Like, I personally feel that your inner peace starts with your inner circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's important that I make sure that I'm around people that aren't pulling me down. They're pouring into me just as much as I'm pouring into them. I think it's important that you got to be authentic, right? Like, you got to be able to be real with the people that you're hanging with. And I think I found myself in situations and positions where previously I found myself in the wrong crowds.
Right.
And it just wasn't allowing me to be authentic. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. So yeah, I mean, the
Right.
peace for me, bro. I gotta be able to be me in the setting that I'm in, and I think my inner circle plays a big role of that. Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree. So that inner circle, though, them
Yeah.
allowing you to be you, like how much does that? How do you recognize that? Like, because when you meet people, you have to fill them out, right? You have to figure them out. How does that work for you? Because it takes a little time, I would think, to know if somebody's worthy of being in your circle. Appointment only, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I think with me, I think like if you know yourself so well, like if you got your inner work done, if you know who you are, you show up like that consistently. So you start to encounter those people, right? I don't necessarily want to use the word attract, but I'll
Right.
say you're more than likely to run into those people because you'll just feel the vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you and I met, Benji, like I felt the
Right.
vibe.
Right.
Like I'm looking at April and I'm like, man, she in Texas? Bro, I used to be in Texas. I feel the vibe, right? Same thing with Big Ken. You can feel their vibe. It's something about them that because you've done your inner work, you feel their work. That's how I
Right.
look at it.
I would agree. And especially as you get older up in age, you start filling people out a little bit quicker than you did when you were younger. And you're like, yo, like, yeah, I'm cool. Like homeboy, a little reckless. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
comes.
you got. Oh, go ahead. But you got to be able to discern that. You're right. Like you got to know at this age that we're at, man, look, when I meet you, either you're for me or you're not. Like either you're going to be taking my piece from me or you're going to be adding to my piece. And that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah, I think a big part of that too is, as we get older, our life experiences, we run into so many different type of people that we recognize personality types too when we
Right.
run into them, and you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? You be like, nah,
Yeah, I'm
I've seen
cool.
people like you before. I'm good on that. I hear your words. I hear the type of language you're using, and if you're speaking positivity, okay, that's a start. If you're speaking negativity from the very beginning when I meet you, it's gonna be short lived, and I'm gonna be cordial at that point, but it won't be a return visit because I'm gonna be like I'm out, and yeah,
Yeah,
you
cool. Quick on that.
the list.
Man, look, prime example. Prime example. I was getting ready to. I did a meeting with this lady yesterday. We was gonna do like an interview, right? As soon as I got on the Zoom, I already knew this was not a good fit. Like I already knew that this was a person that just it didn't match. It didn't connect with me. It didn't make me feel like I could be my authentic self. And I think it's so many people, and it's probably people that are listening that sometimes we get scared to take people out of our inner circle that have been in our inner circle that's no longer giving us the peace that we need in order to move forward in our friendships and our relationships with them. And I think for me that was my hardest lesson. And I think when I learned that those people was taking my peace away, I had to step back so that I can step into new things that were going to fulfill me in a way that I needed to be fulfilled.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm big on reading the person's body language. So you could tell me anything, but if we are in the presence of each other and you aren't helpful, you're more combative than you are situational or helping or like getting to the goal aspect of it. So I tend to look and read people more from a body language standpoint. Like I want to see actually how you move it. Like, are you nervous all the time? Like, do you feel like somebody watching you all the time? Like, or whatever it may be. So I'm more in that space, I can read a person easy. And now, because we're in the social media era, like you can go and feel people out. So even when we're doing for this show, like we're watching people and, you know, trying to see if they're a good fit for the show. You know what I mean? Can we bring them on? Are they energetic? Are they lively? And you just kind of feel people out. And that's kind of how you have to treat it when it comes to your piece, to find out if this person is going to disturb it or not, based on just how they move. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
100%. 100%. You said it.
You know what, like you said about your friends and getting rid of people. A lot of times we're friends with people just simply out of habit. You know what I'm saying? And as we get older, we notice that, because it's people that we were friends with when we were young and throughout our different points in lives. And these people are kind of toxic for our environment, but
Right.
because we've known them so long, we're hesitant to distance ourselves from them. But just because you spend a long time making a mistake don't mean you should stay in it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. A long time making a mistake. We all guilty of that, right?
So
Yep.
yeah,
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
you gotta move on from people, and I mean they might be upset or they might not understand at first, but you know everybody don't have to understand when you're protecting your peace.
You said it best.
I
Yep.
100.
Benji, talk to the people, man. What does protecting your peace look like for you?
Well, man, like I can honestly say, man, coming from my background, I just don't want nobody to talk to me like I used to get talked to when I was a kid.
Hmm.
So if you want me to be a quick out for you, talk to me like you got some sense. Like approach me like you got some sense. Like I approach you respectable. I'm always sir, blessings, you know, that type of thing. And I know everybody isn't, you know, fitting for that. But when people start to kind of put me in that space to where I feel like you talking to me like folks did when I was young, you set off triggers for me. And I'm cool on you. And I ain't gonna even say much to you after that. Like I'm just gonna dip. You get what I'm saying? Like, but if you're that type of person, and some people are just reckless with their mouths. And I grew up in that space where women and men alike were just reckless with their conversation. And to me, as adults, like that's a no-no for me. Because you should be able to sit down, we should be able to iron out and talk about anything if we're interested in each other's piece. And that's where I need to read the body language, because I'm like, oh, okay, I see you reckless. You think doing this, and this is cool at 45, 50 years old. Like, yeah, no, I'm cool, fam. Like, I'm good. And that to me is how I roll with it. So to protect me from going to that angry place, it's best for me to just be like, yeah, I'm cool, fam. Like I'm out. I'll talk to you. I'll holler at you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I control it. Cause I'm cool with, like April said, I'm cool at home. Like I'm chill. like, and like I like my house. I like my spot. I like everything I got here. So for me to come home and chill on my couch and cook and eat and it's clean and all of that, yeah, I dig that 100%.
So you said something very important though. You said the other person was interested in your piece, was, you know what I'm saying, worried about your piece.
Right.
And I think that's an important piece too, because you know, you have to find people who are just as much interested in you being well as them. So that's the hard part, because most
That,
people
and
are
and
only
that's where
piece.
that's huge, because in that instance, man, like you can pick that up easy. Like you can feel you if you, like Ira said, if you're feeling people out, man, you can sense that. Like this person is giving. This person is, you know, a soft spirited. This person is mild mannered. Again, some people like reckless and wild, and you know, some people love that. I prefer that chill, peace, two-step vibe. You get what I'm saying? I can't twerk. I can't twerk You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing all of that. You know. So you know what I'm saying? Don't mean I don't watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You know, I like the 2-step. So I want a woman that can 2-step a little bit.
Hey yo,
why would you be wanting to twerk, sir?
I mean, I don't want to twerk, but you know we in the era where brothers is shaking their ass for cash. Come on,
Oh my god.
Nah, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to pass on that one. Yeah, but
do it in the hoochie daddy shorts. Look.
Hey, you know what? This April McLeod, you good in my book because she hit you with it before I could.
I'm just saying, man. You know, see, she watches the show, so she knows what's up.
Definitely, she knows about. Okay, for context, the people watching, if you don't know about Benji's hoochie daddy shorts, Benji runs in the mornings, and he runs in hoochie daddy shorts. So
listen, man, brother need to be able to breathe when he doing his runs.
Hey, bro, that's real talk, man.
They make basketball shorts with breathable holes in it, might I add. But okay.
Listen, I found this. Listen, I call you strange. You know what I'm saying? You should have certain shorts for certain things. You get what I'm saying? You know, you get your John Stockton shorts on. You know what I'm saying? When you're out there running.
No, and we say this all the time. We have this running joke, but Benji talks about those shorts, but see, those shorts are for short guys. You know what I'm saying? Like tall guys like me, like you can't be out there with John Stockton on because you have a whole nother look to it. It's not working.
Hey, it works for me in the morning, man. When you get up and do your little thing, you know.
We talk about this all the time, y'all. Y'all watch the show, y'all know how tall Benji is, and y'all know how tall I am. And the height difference is a big difference. So Benji can wear things that I clearly can't, and it's not gonna look right on me. I'm 6'5", Benji's 5'9". That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's all right though.
Rock the shorts, bro, because I can't do it.
It's all right. Certain pleasures of this life I get to enjoy. It's okay.
That's a fact. Okay. So check this out. Okay, so when I was doing my research, as you know, I always do with the subjects that we bring on the show, protecting your peace. So it broke it down. It says it means caring for and safeguarding your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual self in ways that you define for yourself. Protecting your peace is a personal journey, where ultimately you make the decision, you set the boundaries for yourself that you determine to be in your own best interest. Notice, none of that said anything about your mom, your wife, your kids, your homeboy, your homegirl. It said a personal journey. So to me, that means that a lot of the decisions I make regarding protecting my peace might not make other people happy. And
That's true.
It's probably gonna ruffle some other people's feathers, the decisions I make for me. But I got to be willing to do that. And that's the hard part. I think that's one of the hardest parts is making those decisions, knowing that other people are not happy about the decisions that you're making, but you have to ultimately do it for yourself.
I agree. Now, April, have you been there before? Because you've had to make decisions based off of other people's feelings, and you could hurt their feelings, but have you ever been in that space before? Talk to us about that.
Oh, golly, numerous times. Like, where do I begin?
she sounds like she in there now.
Well, I'll just say this. One of the most, 6 years ago, my fiance passed away. And I had to make some decisions that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with planning funeral, just pretty much safeguarding a lot of things that was done before his death. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't care because I was like, hey, I understand we were engaged, but we lived together like husband and wife. So I really don't care if I hurt your feelings or not. it is what it is. He's gone. He trusted me. So hey, I mean, I even had to hurt his mom's feelings, sad to say.
Right. I mean, he put you in charge of that. So
right.
that makes sense.
And I mean, that was very hard because I was like, God, this is his man's mom. You know what I mean? But hey, I had to do what I had to do.
Right.
I mean,
and emotions high and everything going in that time. I'm sure it was crazy.
Yeah. Emotions, money. Y'all know how our cousins act with money.
Emotions and money. Yes. Lord. That's crazy.
So I would say for me, that was the hardest time that I've ever had to make those judgment calls about a lot of things. And from there, that made me realize if you're not on my mortgage or my bank account, I don't care about hurting your feelings. I can only hurt myself.
And that's real. Now, so who was instrumental in helping at that moment? Was there people around you that were interested in protecting your peace in that moment?
Oh, no, because nobody understands.
Wow.
Nobody understands until they truly have to go through the process themselves.
And that sucks to kind of be out on that island by yourself in that moment. I could feel that. That's crazy.
So I can honestly say that was a coaching session for me, pretty much to learn right then and there. Even though I was adult, you really sometimes don't know if you really are put in place to make adult decisions. You know what I mean? So.
And how old were you at that time? 18 years old?
Oh God, this was 6 years ago. So what? 37? Yeah.
And that's adult age, to make those decisions.
Not decisions that's gonna hurt family like that. No.
Right.
Adults. I mean, think about it. You don't think to be burying anybody at 37. You just pay bills.
No.
Yeah.
You get where I'm going with that. So.
And see, you know what? I want to point out something, and this doesn't have anything to do with what you just said, but it's kind of similar to that. Is we talking about protecting your peace, and before we came on the show tonight, I was watching highlights of football games, and you look at the athletes, a lot of these young guys, and they get so much money at such a young age, and they have so many. They don't understand this protect your peace at that point in their lives. They understand they want to help everybody. They want everybody to like them. It's kind of the total opposite. So, like she's saying, during that time, you want her to make decisions, and it's hard to make those decisions because you're going to hurt people's feelings. Imagine what those guys feel 21, 22 years old. They're a millionaire, and you got to tell somebody no.
Yeah.
You got to tell your aunt that to help bring you up, that you gave money to already, that you can't buy her $1 million house. You don't have that to spend on her because people have unrealistic expectations is what I'm really getting at. And you to have to make those decisions during that time. Nobody's in your seat. Nobody knows what you're going through at that point. And again, most people are not looking at how something is affecting anybody else other than themselves.
Very true. People become very selfish in those moments.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Ira, you've been there before, man. You've been there. You've been in that space before.
Well, I've been in a space where I had to make tough decisions to protect my peace. Like, I mean, when I was leaving my 9-to-5 to transition into corporate America, I had to make a decision if I was going to stay with the cool people or step out into what I was called to step into. And I think it was a difficult decision, right? Because here I am, I'm doing what I've always known. I'm hanging with my crew. I'm hanging with my people, the people that are supporting me, the people that are paying my check. And so one day I walk in and I'm like, deuces, I'm out. But everybody's not happy for you when you're getting ready to do something that you don't even know what you're about to do. And so I think as I reflect back on the question of, what are some things you do to protect your peace? I think it's what Benji Shirt says. You got to trust the reroutes, right? There are things that are transitioning. There are experiences that we are starting to experience that will start to tell us through our situations that it's time to step away from it. Whether it's the relationship, whether it's the friendship, whether it's the baby mama, whether it's your daddy's mama, like you got to step out and you got to be okay with being an adult. Like you got to be okay with making adult decisions, because I'm at a point in my life where if you're not adding value to it, step back, because I'm moving forward. And I can't do what I've been called to do if I got people pulling my piece down, right? Because I mean, you guys probably got families, you probably got businesses, you probably got jobs, and all the stuff that we already go through in this world, bruh, you ain't getting on my piece. Like, you
Right.
ain't gonna take that from me. You can
Right.
say anything else but my piece. And I think as I wrap up here, I think I understand why the old folks used to say, "Man, I got to be about my peace," because those were the people that had went through hell. Those were
Yeah.
the people who had went through something. They lost their peace, so when they got it, they stuck with it, and it wasn't going to allow someone to take it away from them.
So how valuable do we look at the people who actually are concerned about us? Because I'm sure in those moments, this comes up, and this touches a nerve for me because when my mom was killed, I remember the turmoil that was at the funeral. And there's this huge drama show going on. You got funeral, and I'm 8 years old. So you're trying to process all of this. And the people that you thought were for you necessarily were against you the whole time. So I think we have to be very mindful of the people that actually look out for us, and they ask these types of questions. They're concerned, well, why did you do it that way? And if your response is as well, I felt mentally I can't be in this moment with y'all, and they understand it, those people right there are valuable for us. So I know Ken has a great support system. Ken, talk to us about that, because you've even went through some things as of recently. Talk to us about those people, man, because those people are valuable. The people that are actually concerned about your piece.
Yeah, I mean, those are valuable, and like you can't put a price on it. One thing that my OG used to always tells me, and I just thought about this when Benji was mentioning some things. If it costs me my piece, the price is too high.
Right.
If it costs me my piece, the price is too high. Right. I'm not gonna let anything take anything away from me in certain situations now that I'm an adult, right? Because I've always been one of those people who's been as they say, a people pleaser, right? I've always wanted everybody around me to be happy, to be,
Right.
to be excited about things that I'm doing, for me to be, kind of the guy that does everything right in everybody's eyes. When I
Right.
realized that, what, no matter how much I do right, it's still going to be somebody that's going to find fault in something that I'm doing. So I gotta refocus myself and think about, okay, what brings me peace? So for me, like you were asking, my support system, everybody around me is amazing, right? And for me, like Miss April was saying, I spend a lot of time at home, and I find peace in my kids generally,
Right.
right? Because my kids, I know they're for me. You know what I'm saying? I know they're cheering me on. I know they want the best for me, and I want the best for them. So it's a reciprocal thing. I pour into them, they pour into me. And what's amazing is when you sit down and you have these conversations with your kids, you don't necessarily come to them in a conversational piece of, well, that's a little kid, I'm not going to talk to them like that, or I'm not going to have a conversation with you. No, have a conversation with your child. I don't care how old they are. If they can comprehend what you're saying back and forth, you don't have to do the baby talk. You don't have to try to dumb it down for them. Talk to them so they can understand when they go out into the world, when other people are talking to them, they can correlate with those words and those terms and those things, because these kids got to be ready for so much more than what we were at their
Right.
age, right? Like my baby girl, she's 11. She got to be she's already past light years past where I was at 11, because I was still playing with cars, trying to go outside and ride my
Right.
bike, and concerned about nothing in the world, right? And these kids have so many things that they're concerned about, so many things that they're bombarded with, that protecting their peace has to be taught. And it's something that I think that, that's a big issue for us too, because, if we're 40 plus, I can guarantee you that we weren't taught to protect our peace as kids. We weren't
A lot
taught.
of us were.
Yeah, we weren't taught that even as adults. Like, we learned it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So be able to talk to your kids and teach them how to protect their peace and what that means is it means a lot. So for me to be able to pour into them and them pour back into me, that's my support system. Because even my 11-year-old daughter, I talked to her about some stuff, and I know some people will be like, she is really having a full conversation with you about this. I'm like, yeah, because
these kids are smart, man. They smart, man. We got to give them more credit than we give them. These kids are smart, man. That's important. Ira, who are those people in your life? Can you point out some specific ones that are like, you know what? Like, I understand why you are this way, that way, why you did it that way. Who are those people in your space?
Well, there aren't many. I'll say that it's not many, but I have. What I love about this is that you don't have to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're naturally in that state. Like they're naturally in tune with you. And so for me, it's people like my mom. It's people like my sister. It's people that they get it. Like they've seen my personality change, right? They've seen the roles, they've seen progression. They've seen me when I was 20 and it was resonating, just like when I was 30 and I was resonating. And so what I love about these people is that they're lifelong, they're not seasonal. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't have to force it, you don't have to make it work. For me, it's definitely been my mom and my sister. And I think, man, these past 4 years, I've experienced a lot of change. And so when you experience a lot of change, you outgrow people, places, things, and they tend to fall off. So I think the ones that are left is like my mom, my sister, but also, the people that I bring into my circle, right? The CEO, the employees, the different people that I have that are close to me. And I make sure that they're at a level to where I can confide in them because we vibe and we understand. So not many, but definitely
those seasonal people can be a bit of a headache. They're only there for the fishes and the loaves most of the time, right?
I think that's a good point to point out too, because he said something amazing with that seasonal thing, and you have to know what friends belong where, because all friends aren't on the same level. So I think our expectations of certain friends and family members, we got to understand that too, because my expectations for my cousin that I grew up with, and then I have other cousins that might be the same age or kind of like a first, second cousin on the same level per se, but we didn't grow up together. My expectation for them ain't the same as the one I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? So we got to kind of have the understanding of, it's, as they say all the time, it's levels to it. So you got to understand what level people belong on, because your expectations should align with that. Because
shout out, I'm gonna give a quick shout out, right? Shout out to my man Purvis Taylor. He said this on our show one time. He said, man, some people are a lifetime and some people are just for a good time. And we have to know that the people that are in your space, that are there, like Ira said, the seasonal people, some people are just there because they're a good time. You can hang out with them a couple times and it's cool. But there are some people in your life that come and their design is to impact you for a lifetime. They're that person that understands, like that mom, that sister that understands, you know what, I'm here for the long haul. I'm not just here for the short term. And that's dope. But we do have a sector of people who grew up without that experience. You know what I mean? Like, I put myself in that class because I grew up without, certain things. So that means you have to kind of really feel your way through life when it comes to people. And sometimes you got to treat everybody with that white glove. You get what I'm saying? Like, let me feel you out really, really, really good, because I don't know you, and I ain't gonna front like I know you. And if you're not careful, you can have people around you who actually mean you no good. They're just there for the fishes and the loaves. They know you got something, so that's why they're there.
Benji and this fishes and this loaves. Break that down.
I mean,
yeah, let's talk about that.
Listen, man, I'm hungry right now, so brother, I'm trying not to eat on air, y'all.
Benji asked this question earlier on Facebook. Has protecting your peace become code for dodging responsibility? Do people use that? Well, I'm just protecting my peace, but they trying to dodge, being responsible for something. Have you ever heard or seen people do that?
Talk to us, April, because I know you have. You went through an experience, but I know you have. Talk to us.
Yeah, she know. Let's let us
Well,
know.
I can only speak for myself, like I just told you earlier. I didn't know myself
Right.
how to protect my peace. And I think a lot of people don't know. They may think they are, but truly they don't have a clue.
So
So
go ahead.
I think honestly, I think people just say it just to be saying something, just to hear themselves talk at times. Because
Right.
they don't have a clue. They haven't done the work.
So because if we are really concerned about each other, we are, so to speak, the good. You're responsible for how you treat another person.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think being very dismissive of people is a pretty is a pretty cruel thing. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, we do have a responsibility to be concerned about the next person to a degree, right?
Right. Right.
Guys,
Yeah,
What? She's here.
I made it. I made it. I made it. Hi,
She
guys.
made it. She made it. She made it. Well, we're glad to have you on. We're glad to have you on. She was taking care of
Alright,
business, so we won't mess with her too much. So she'll be out.
appreciate it. How's everybody? Sorry to cut in.
Good.
It's all right.
so
All
good.
right. It's all right.
So, okay, so Trisha Michelle, she joined us today for the episode. And before we move forward, we want to get your thoughts on what does protecting your peace look like to you?
So protecting my peace is something like I talk about a lot. So for me, at the end of the day, if it's disrupting anything that keeps me from being anxiety, angry, frustrated, man, like I just need to be balanced and centered. So I need to protect that like level ground. Like I'm not going to allow anything to take me off of that. And if so, I got to come back. So that might be a few things that a few people might not like, but that's my pieces above all. So it's saying no. It's not going out. It's not doing this. Not even for the kids. Sometimes family, like that's just what it is.
Sometimes you got to shut it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
And these are mom. This is a mom talking, so we know sometimes you got to shut things off, right?
Absolutely. They could, the kids for sure. They try to take you out your. And I'm like, I'm not gonna let you give me your energy. So no.
Yeah, I mean, you said a lot of great things there, and of course, everybody who knows if you watch the show on a regular basis, Ken always has a list of things. We're always going to be helpful. We have some ways to protect your peace. Some of them
Right.
have been discussed so far, but we're always going to try to have a discussion, and we're always going to have some feedback for you in order to be able to implement the things that we're actually talking about, right? Because we're talking from our personal experience, but there's a lot of things that we've done that might be unconventional in our approach or in our methods of attaining our peace. So it might not work for you, but we got some suggestions that we want to run through that you might find one or two things on this list that might actually work for you, or you're already doing and you're not even realizing it. So, ways to protect your peace. The top one here says, and Patricia just said it, say no when you need to. Saying no is hard to a lot of people. Let's talk about that.
I'm learning, y'all. It's a struggle.
Oh, I love to say no.
I, I'm I think I need me a mean girlfriend or something like that.
My friend was
Like,
mad the other day. I'm tired of you saying no.
I need I need one of the mean girlfriends. I think I'm starting to like mean girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, just tell them no, baby. It's all right. Ask my girl. She gonna tell you no. I struggle with saying no, and saying no is actually hurtful when you can't do or whatever you feel like you want to do for a person, right?
Yeah.
And I get stuck in between that sometimes. So I could totally understand. I struggle with that one, Ken, for sure.
Okay, so how do you think you're gonna fix that, sir? Because you you gotta work on fixing that.
I just told you I'm gonna find me a mean girlfriend. I
No,
told you. Watch what I tell
that's
you.
not
No,
the
that's
fix.
not fixing you.
It'll protect my. She'll protect my peace.
See,
Wakanda forever.
peace is gonna be permanently disrupted because you putting your piece in somebody else's hand.
Right. And so what if her piece is just off that day too? And she's incapable of protecting your piece.
Yeah, and I admit it's something I have to actually work on. As you get older, you start learning yourself, and you start understanding that you can't help everybody. Like
Facts.
you and I think
Facts.
sometimes life conditions us to try to be there for everybody because you've been let down so much that you think you have to be there for everybody. And you reach that space in your life now that if you focus on taking care of everybody else, you'll disrupt what you've actually built, took time to build over time. And if you're not careful, you'll let those same people who you thought were rolling with you pull you back into a space where you don't want to be. And recognizing that, yeah, it's a real moment when you recognize it.
I think
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
me, I I had like the whole trying to please everybody. I was very much trying to do that. If there was
Right.
this event or that or this person needing me or whatever, like I was like, okay, yes, I'm gonna just figure it out. I'm gonna make it work. And then when I fell short, these people thought I didn't care or I was lying or
Right.
whatever. But the whole time I'm going crazy trying to figure out how I could do this, be here, be there, be that. And so I was like, you know what? I just
F
can't.
y'all.
Like I can't. So
Yeah.
it's okay that I cannot. And so I started learning how to say no, and it felt good. And now I told you, people don't like me here now.
She's addicted.
Right.
I think
Like
I think it
I'm getting
goes back to
past the
what
likability part, trust me.
I think it goes back to what Big Ken said. You know, at one point he found himself being a people pleaser, right? Like I'm pretty sure a lot of us are guilty of that. I know I am. We want to
I'm
make
very
people
much
feel
am.
good. We want to make them feel like, you know, that we don't want to say no to them, right? But I think that's why it's so important that as we grow, we start to remove those mindsets. We got to set boundaries. Like we got to put things in place so that we won't get in a position to where we wear ourselves down. Because ultimately, you start saying yes to everything, you're gonna wear yourself out, and that'll put you in a position to where you won't mind saying no, bruh. It's not
Say
happening
yes.
because of the simple fact that I'm tired. I've been giving my all to everybody else, but they haven't been giving their all to me, and now I'm exhausted. I have nothing left to say but no.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's and I know April that hits home for April because she went through that experience with the fiance and learning that in that moment to be like, you know what? And I mean, I hate to say it, but sometimes you just gotta be like, F y'all.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like I had somebody hit me up and didn't that one ask me how I was doing, how I was good? Long, long, long time friend, known him for years. Hit me up and when people hit me up out of the blue, my nigga senses start tingling. But I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And
Like what they want.
yeah, it's
This
like
nigga.
because they start asking those lead-in questions. Like
Yeah.
where you live, man? Like,
How's it been?
yeah, how you been? You know what I'm saying? Like, nowhere in there was it, bro. You okay? Like, you all right?
Right.
You straight? Like, you good? You
That's
all
an
right?
important question these days too.
Right. And then then here it comes, bro. You got some money? And that's just how it is. So I was like, yo, and I felt it coming, but even feeling all of that coming, I was still inclined to just be like, you know what, let me help out. And then after that moment, I realized I was like, you know what, if I don't say no, if I don't leave this alone, this is what it's gonna be. And once you recognize that, you get it. But in that moment, you do want to make sure people are good. And now I'm just like, bro, I ain't got time.
I
Like,
had I had to learn that saying no to somebody doesn't mean you don't care. Like because
right.
I would feel like they're gonna think that I don't care, that I don't love them, and people will guilt trip you for your no. How could you? My
I
son,
like that.
like he'd be like, "What, mom?" But and I'd be like, "Boy, no." Like no. So like people do that because you said no. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean you don't love them or you don't care. But at the end of the day, you care more about you in that moment, your peace, and that's okay. So
Right.
let anybody make you feel like your no means you don't care.
I did that.
Especially if they know you're an empath too.
Oh, they will use
Oh.
empaths. Oh,
Yeah, if they know, they will try you.
I mean, listen, I heard something that be careful of the love, the constant love you show, because if you ever elevate and you make it to a different level or a higher level, and you can't show the same love to those people, they'll start acting funny and start talking down on you because you ain't there in their presence all the time. You ain't with them all the time. You can't send the money like you was doing before. You just don't have the time. So you have to be careful because, and this is what the people were talking about who don't respect your peace as well. Like, I think it's a quid pro quo thing. Like, I don't want to be around people who are just concerned about themselves and themselves only. Like, I need people around me who actually, bro, you all right? You straight?
Right.
And taking the time to invest in your mental health. Like, I asked a friend of mine this, said, when was the last time like you invested in your man's mental health? Like, shoes, this, you got all of that, but when was the last time you actually checked on that man, made sure he was actually straight mentally? You get what I'm saying? Like, notice his little nuances, his, what bothers him, what doesn't bother him, that type of stuff. And those type of people are the people who pay attention to the small details in your life. So yeah, I want those type of people around me. So.
And I think those people are, I think those people that should, like, if we're in relationships, that's what my woman's job need to be. I need to have her to do that, but there needs to be balance. Like, I can't have her all 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't have her just expecting that from you. Like, we got to balance each other out. You know what I'm saying? We set boundaries amongst ourselves and build each other up. But at the end of the day, my woman is responsible for her peace. I'm responsible for my peace. And as we co-create and come together, we're going to balance each other out. And we're going to check in. Hey, baby, you good? What's going on? Everything good? Okay, cool. But at the end of the day, she's making that a priority, right? I think that's important to note, too, especially it's just important that I don't, and most people that I know, it's important that we don't get in the mindset that somebody else is responsible for what I should be responsible for.
Right.
You can't get no girl to be your peace and protect your peace. That's what he said, okay?
All right, Patricia, dang.
No, I'm saying no, you cannot.
Say no. Say no. No. Hey, no. Y'all hear it? Patricia just bullied me on live air. So I'm used to it. This is the type of treatment I get. All right, so no. I'm working on that. No, leave me alone.
Saying no is a good feeling. I used to have an issue with, say, for instance, like events. When somebody invites me to an event, I always felt like, especially if it's a person I'm cool with, I feel obligated to go and at least, like they say, show my face all the time, even if I didn't feel like I wanted to really go there. But I had to learn as I got older, you know what? Every event ain't for Ken. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go make an appearance. So I'm like, man, you know what? I ain't gonna be able to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Your boy a little tired. I'm gonna have to, catch y'all next time. And regardless of what they feel or how they, what they say when I get off their phone or when I leave their presence, I have to be good with knowing that, you know what, I made the right decision for Ken. Because if I go to that event and something happens or I'm there and I'm not having a good time, I'm gonna have to live with that regret in my time of putting myself in a compromising position. So why even do that? Why even go through all that? Just be honest with people. And as Ira said earlier, you definitely want to be around people who allow you to be your authentic self. And my people who are really around me, they know, don't invite Ken to certain stuff because either he ain't gonna act right or he ain't gonna come.
Right.
So it's a balance. So
I'm gonna need you to find some balance, okay? Not that it's not coming.
This is when, even though me and my older brother came up pretty crazy, kind of estranged, we kind of went our separate ways because I came to Cali, he stayed in Texas, totally different lives. It's my brother. But we hadn't seen each other for 10, 12 years. Like, we were just out of the loop from each other, right? when we started connecting back together. This was one of the dopest things I've heard somebody say to me. He said, "I know now if Benji don't like you, you did something wrong to him." Mm-hmm. And that to me spoke volumes. And the reason being is because he understood that I don't just stop messing with people just because. Like, if I don't like you, you did something. And I ain't gonna talk bad about you. I ain't gonna say much about you, whatever. I'm just gonna dip. Like I'm cool. Like I ain't gonna F with you. Like I'm out of here. Like I ain't got nothing bad to say about you, but let me get up out of here. And people that know you like that and understand that, Ken, you can't help but gravitate to those people, because that to me is respecting your peace. Like, don't invite your boy to no strip club, even though he did it. I'm like, bro, I don't want to go to no strip club. Like, I like my women private. I don't want your strip club experience. But he didn't know that. We never kicked it like that together, right? So to express that to him and for him to understand it, that's your vibe. That's not my vibe. And that person respects it. I mean, you got to roll with folks like that.
Yeah. And saying what you're saying, it kind of goes along with what one thing that's on this list, and it says stand up for yourself. That's part of standing up for yourself and sticking up for what you believe in, because people will try to talk you into it. Yeah, I've never been in the strip clubs before, but I allowed some friends of mine to talk me into going, and I went, and it was like, okay, this is exactly why I didn't want to come here. It's not my vibe, right? I mean, women are cool. Everything in here is cool, but it's just not me. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not my environment. So, been there, done that. And, I mean, I guess it was cool for the experience for me to know, for sure, like, it's just not my thing. But I didn't stand up for myself. I allowed myself to be adult peer pressured.
Adult peer pressure be a thing. It really is.
Yeah, because I didn't want to let my friends down. I feel like I was letting them down. One of them was getting married, and they were like, "Yeah, everybody's going, so let's go." This the first time we've all been together in years. Let's go. So I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'll just go ahead and go. But sometimes, man, you just gotta know what's best for you and be like, you know what? I'll catch you boys, you know what I'm saying? Next time or tomorrow, or stand up for yourself, man. Don't allow people to talk you into doing something that's going to disturb your peace.
It's the guilt.
Especially if you're empath, like April said.
And to add to that, Big Ken, is you got to reset expectations with people that you've known for 20, 15, 10 years. You got to reset expectations. Hey, I know typically this is what we do, but moving forward, based on the way it makes me feel, I'm gonna be doing this. Like, and if you're my friend, if you're my ride or die, you're gonna get it. Like, if you're my guy, if you're my girl, you're gonna understand it. If you're meant to be in this season that I'm shifting into.
And plus, we all
agree. I like that. Reset expectations.
Those same things that we're into change as we grow anyway. So maybe I used to want to go to the strip club when I was 20, but now I'm 30 something and I don't care to go there. So let me let you know now this ain't my vibe. So yeah, of course.
That's it.
That's
another. Coming from where I come from, I look like a total square now, man. Trust me. Like, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm straight. Like, y'all ain't got nothing for me to be impressed by. So why would I even want to entertain that? Like, I'm straight. Like, I'm good. I'll take boring any day over, rah, 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 rah. Like, I'm straight. Like, I'm cool. And if you don't set that, you'll run into people who you knew when you were kids, and they still think you the same old so-and-so. So gotta be careful.
Now we gotta do that shirt though. I appreciate that idea. Reset your expectations. We gotta put that on the shirt. Benji.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt. Okay. So the next one up on my list was pay attention to triggers. Now I think it was Miss April that mentioned this earlier, and that's a huge one, right? It's stuff that triggers us, and it's people that trigger us, and we still hang around them, and we still be in their presence, knowing every time I'm around this person, they're gonna run me hot.
Yep.
I don't talk to a sister right now.
She like I'm good.
Look, she cutting everybody off.
No, it's just so I'm really big. Look, if we made it there, you had chances. So like I'm really big on if nothing is changing, and we've been down this road over and over for whatever the reasons or situations are, where it's always something that's my peace that's being compromised in this situation. So at the end of the day, I got to evaluate, like, is my life more peaceful with or without you?
Right.
Like, and if I'm peaceful as heck right now, then we good. So,
Right. It just makes more sense. But I mean, I'll say this: I've progressed enough to where I know my triggers. Like I talked about this earlier. People who are reckless with their mouths, like, yeah, man, I'm cool. Let me move around, because that stirs up something in me. If you start talking to me that way, like it's cool if it's in a joking manner. Like Patricia jokes with me all the time. I know she don't mean it, you know what I'm saying? She's just being a bully like she normally is, you know what I'm saying? But it's okay. You know what I'm saying? But for the people who you don't know, you know what I'm saying, who are just reckless, like that's a trigger for me. Like, don't talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to me sensible. And if I'm around those type of people, I instantly have to get ghosts. Like, I'm straight. Like, you ain't got to tell me twice.
That, though. Sometimes it's even those people that have their own drama, but like they bring it to you, but you're not in it. It has nothing to do with you, but you just hear them all the time. Like, I'm mom, this and this and this and that, like going off about whatever, and it just drains you without even being a part of it. Like, even that can get a piece. Like, it takes away from your balance with your peace. So sometimes even those people, I'm like, look, either you got to get it together, or just don't have these conversations around me, because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, and you know what? That's on the list as well. Something similar to kind of what we're talking about right now. Is don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to get from around people, as the old folks say. Get from around here.
Get from around here.
Sometimes you can't be afraid to leave people alone, man. And I think again, we get so used to certain people being around us, so used to certain people being in our lives, that we don't want to remove ourselves from that person or from those situations because we become accustomed to it. And change is very uncomfortable.
It
But
is.
you just have to go through those processes in order to, as the subject of tonight says, protect our peace.
Protect your peace, man. Now, my question is do you know how to protect your peace? I know we're removing ourselves, but we're dealing with everything that comes from your heart. We're dealing with the inward you. Like, do people know how to actually protect their peace, or is it just all remove yourself from situations?
No, and that's what the list is about, Benji.
Right. I'm like, there's
triggers.
That's the way that I think we've been taught to protect our peace, by removing ourselves all the time. And that is not the case at all times. Sometimes you cannot remove yourself from certain situations. If you have a certain job and you have a great job, and your job is not the problem, but the people at work might be a problem, or a person at work might be a problem. You don't want to quit the job and lose your great job and your all your great perks and everything because this person, because you can't get along with this person. So you have to learn how to deal with it a different way. So we have some things on this list that are going to help people deal with things a different way. So in the sense of they can't remove themselves, you can still deal with it.
Facts. Because I think most people will attest that from what I've heard, even when we were discussing this topic, right? Most people is instantly just remove yourself. And I think that's good. But again, we got examples to where, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to leave that job, right? Yeah, so how do we get to the next level? You know what I'm saying? Protecting our peace and just not removing ourselves. We got some great stuff coming.
Well, one thing you also want to look at is on this list is don't take things personally.
Yep.
Okay.
Now that's a big thing because a lot of times stuff ruins our peace or something upsets our environment because we took something personally that person might have said in just, they just joking around or they just talking, or maybe, this person, like Benji said, got a reckless mouth. Right. So why would you even feed into anything that they saying because this person is reckless with their speech and their vernacular. So why would you even be concerned with it? You know what I'm saying? So it's like we allow things to affect us negatively because of the way we receive it, not because of the way they put it out there.
Right.
So we have to watch that as well. So
we gotta tune some folk out, right?
Sometimes you have to.
So Miss April,
And I think,
go ahead, Ira.
well, I was just gonna say, I think that's why your filter, the way you're receiving stuff, that's why it's so important to heal your own wounds. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to make sure your inner man is good. You got to make sure that your spirit is good. You got to make sure that you're processing things right, because you will take things personal if you're coming from an unhealed place. That's why I always say this saying: heal people, and broken people break people. And so it's so important that you work on your own inner healing, which is coming up higher in your thoughts, so that we won't take things personal.
I think it's always good to step back and ask yourself, am I reacting out of emotions? Am I taking it wrong? Is this what they meant? Like, I try to reflect before I be like mad or whatever it is, or before I address it and have to talk to a person or whatever it is. Like, am I really getting it? Is it really right? Am I really seeing it as it is? Like, or is it just really something that girl, sit down. Like, so sometimes you really got to step back for a second before you even approach it and make sure you seeing it the right way.
All right. So what do y'all do with the crackhead auntie though? Like,
I don't deal with
because all of us got that weird family member, don't you?
I have it, and I don't crackhead nobody.
All of us got that weird family member, right? How do y'all deal with that? Because
look, speaking from
we need to let Patricia answer this one.
Crackhead family member, I don't deal with them.
She don't. She for real. How many you got left? How many people you got left?
I got a nice group. Like I got so much peace. Y'all don't understand.
I know. She living that good life. She ain't got nobody left.
I got the devil in that gear out.
Because I know we have these people in our lives, right? So I think this is balance, because we used to, cutting people off, but now we're talking about tuning certain people out, right? Like, we know so-and-so is this way. They don't mean no harm, but they've been a little wild. They had a rough little life. You get what I'm saying? They need to be around some good people. They're still learning themselves, right? How do we tolerate that? How do we deal with that? Ira, you got anybody somewhere around there that kind of drive you crazy, but they fam? Like, how does that work?
You can't be talking about a crackhead. You just talking about it. Because there ain't no way. Like,
hey, we want to keep it kosher, but we know good and well some of us got some wild ones out there. You know what I'm talking about? Some of us got some mamas, some aunties, some uncles that's a little special. You know what I'm talking about?
So for me, the way that I handle those people is I don't associate with them, whether they're family, whether they're friends, because I understand the importance of my peace. You will never know how much you value something until you don't have it, until you go years without it, until you want it but you can't get it and you try to get it. And I think when you suffer, you can tell the people that are big on their peace, they've been through a lot of hell. They've been through a lot of situations.
Right.
And I think when you experience that, it's not that you become selfish, but you almost become more healed in your thoughts, because you realize that your situation was trying to teach you to let go of something that was no longer serving you in your season. And as you didn't let it go, you started to get murdered. Your inside started to get killed. Your mindset started to go down. And I think the longer you hang on to things that don't want you to hang on to them, it takes you to a place that you never thought you would be before.
Look, that's something like, can we hear from my mama? Because that's
just for y'all, Ira, we always have a lift your hands moment. You just officially got the lift your hands moment, because that's you at the altar and God talking to you. So that's the lift your hands moment.
Yeah, wow.
You know what? That's on the list too. Set boundaries with family and friends. Listen, just because, what I'm saying, I got love for the crackhead aunt, for the as the folks in the South say, the jicky uncle, the uncle that's always drunk. I love him, but I gotta, I gotta maintain a certain distance from him, because I can't. As the old folks say, you keep associating with fools so long, sometimes people forget that you ain't one of them. You know what I'm saying? You start to look like them. You start to smell like them. I don't want to be associated with that. So I'm going to show you love from a distance. I'm not going to treat you disrespectful and everything like that, but I'm not going to hang around up under me too, because I don't want what you got going on to rub off on me. You know what I'm saying? So you can show them love, but from a distance. You know what I'm saying? You can, like as the old folks say, feed them with a long handle spoon.
Facts.
Yep.
April, how you handling it? I want to know.
Yeah, let us know.
Look, I'm just gonna say, love you, mama, but because my mama, goodness, Lord have mercy.
Uh-oh.
I love her though, but I have to have those come to Jesus meetings with her. For me, I don't distance myself from her because she is my mama. But I tell her, just give me a minute. Let me just zone out. I literally put my headset in. I'm like, just give me a minute. Especially if we're like hanging out. Like if we're doing an all day mall thing and I know I have to be present, you have to let me zone out. Like literally just be quiet for a minute. Cause she could just go nonstop. Like she retired, she's 65 years old, so she got a lot to talk about. So and that's with anybody because I know you can't always remove yourself.
Right.
Like
Right.
especially if you're at work. I can't get up and leave my desk. So sometimes they be like, oh, she over there talking to herself because I am. I'm literally headset, head down, and I'm praying. And that's usually what I have to do. I just have to like zone out for like 10 to 15 minutes is all I need.
And that makes sense because again, we do have those type of people in our lives that they're still here. They done been through hell and high water. They still here. And it's like, yo, like, how do I manage this? How do I treat this? I think to a degree, once you get to that space to where you know who you are, where you stand, you almost have to make people respect your boundaries to a degree in some certain instances, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't do that over here, man. Like, we cool. So I had a brunch. I'll tell you this. I had a brunch recently, and I invited some partners over, right, to the crib. And one of the dudes never kicked it with him before. It was a new dude coming into the equation, right? And he didn't understand my vibe. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't roll like this. We don't talk like this or talk like that. You get what I'm saying? And much older dude than me. And yeah, I had to check him. Like, hold on, man. Like, this is what we do in my house. Like, this is how we roll. And because the dude respected me, respected that I came at him that way. So, like, when you kicking it with me, homeboy, like, this is what we do. Like, we don't disrespect women. We ain't, if the food is good, we're going to enjoy it. If the drinks is good, we're going to enjoy it. If the music is good, we're going to enjoy it. But the one thing we're not going to do is create an atmosphere to where, you know what I'm saying, that's not conducive to, you know what I'm saying, what I'm used to. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I do believe some people, because of how their lives are, whether it be they've been reckless all their lives, they've done whatever they wanted to do, sometimes we do have to make them respect these boundaries. And if you came from then I just need, you know what I'm saying, I need you to go and dip. You get what I'm saying? Like, take off. And dude still calls me to this day. Respectful, chill, cool. He understands how I get down now. And I think sometimes we have to do that. But but we're talking about making sure that people respect those boundaries, because some folks is wild, they don't care. Yeah. And those are people who don't respect your peace, and we don't want to kick it with them. So,
right. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, what about the people that really don't understand what your peace is?
So, and
they don't have to. That's the good thing.
Yeah, they don't really have
to understand your piece, right? And I personally think we shouldn't get too wrapped up in somebody else understanding what brings peace to us. You know what I'm saying? We should be able to, as Benji was just saying, express our true emotions, how we feel about something, be able to have a constructive conversation with somebody, especially about my environment, whether it's my physical environment or, in my presence. I'm gonna let you know, hey, that's disrespectful to me. Hey, I don't get down like that. So I'm just gonna be honest and open with you, and hopefully you respect me enough as a friend to want to remain around me, but respect my boundaries, respect the things that that I tell you that hey, bring down my environment, or as we say, protect our peace. If you understand that, I'm fine with that, because you know what, we can go about it a whole nother route. You know what I'm saying? I can move myself. I know when I see you coming, hey man, you know what? All right, y'all, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm cool. Oh boy, you know the saying, who all over there?
Right, who's all coming?
That's a peace check question.
It is, because you really need to know.
Your peace.
You really do.
Ain't even been in this motherfucker 5 seconds, and already got
Hey,
this
you know
you know what I'm
Patricia
saying?
asked
Like, hold
about.
on, man. Like,
You know, I'm
Oh, she
for sure ask.
hey, who all? You know
My
she's
friends be
trying
like,
to.
just say yes or no. I'd be like, look, who's gonna be there? Where is it at? Why?
facts. Like, hold on. Who? So. Oh, yeah, no, I'm cool. Okay.
I'd be like,
They coming to the after party too? Oh, no, yeah, man. Just, you know what I'm saying?
I'd be like, oh, okay, well,
Send me a couple hundreds
confirm.
over to my crib, and that's cool. Y'all go hang out over there. I'm straight.
The funny part about that who all over there is generally the who all over there is an excuse for why I'm not coming. Because whoever you mention, if I don't feel like coming, it don't matter who you mention. I'm still not coming. But I'm just going to
ain't coming.
response to justify me not coming. Oh, girl, you know I don't get along with her. That's why I be hearing, girl, you know we don't get along. I ain't coming.
Yes.
Man, you know what, man? Last time we came over there, man, we were drinking. Me and him got into it. You know, this whole thing. You ain't even see it because you was in the other part of the house. But I'm not gonna even be able to come, man. We don't.
Yeah, I ain't gonna even be able to come, man. I'm cool. I'm straight. Yeah,
See,
I ain't.
as a host,
They
you
raised
would
my
mess
blood
up
pressure.
my
I'm straight.
peace.
She said, as a host, you would mess
As
up.
a host, you would mess up my peace because I'd be like, no, wait a minute, I was expecting you. Now I got to deal with all them. See,
I'd be like, that's okay.
And that goes back to what Ira was saying. You have to teach people your expectations, your new boundaries. You almost have to, but again, that can be costly too if you're not careful, because you'll spend a lot of time trying to coach them on what you know what I'm saying you're doing, and they ain't listening. They don't care.
Yeah.
And so let's go in that.
That's another
like
way.
I'm literally telling somebody, like, you know what I'm saying, man, I don't roll that way. Like I don't keep cash, man. Like I don't roll that way. It's a credit system over here. Like, and they'll still ask you over and over and over again. I'm like, dude, you ain't getting it. You don't understand, man.
So I just want to add to
that way.
Like, I want to add to that. Like, well, resetting expectations. You shouldn't be coaching people on how to treat you in your friendships. That's where I struggled at one point. Well, people need to know that people come into your life to teach you something. When someone comes into my life, I'm like, why is this person in my life? Is it my wife? Is she trying to teach me how to be a better man? Is she trying to teach me how to be a better father? Is it my friend? Is it something that I'm supposed to learn from this person? Because whatever I'm called to learn from this person, once I learn it, sometimes that relationship was to be for a season. Because I learned the lessons within that season. And so now before I can get to my next level, I got to let go of that relationship, that person, that position, so that I can step into that new thing.
See, that's why y'all shouldn't be afraid to.
And you know, it's very interesting to note that when we don't let go of things that we know our spirit is telling us to let go, we suffer. And we don't just suffer, we're holding ourselves back from our next level. That new job because we were scared to let go of the old job. That new relationship because we were scared to let go of the relationship, and things of that nature. It's important that you follow what you feel.
I agree. Some of the best things have happened to us when we let go of you know, past, so to speak.
Yeah.
I was scared to let go of Texas. I love Texas, man. Like, that was home.
But all you gotta do
grew
is
up there. And my brother was like, no, you getting out of here. He had to force me to leave. And if I hadn't left, I wouldn't be here to this day, right? So letting go of stuff and making those decisions, I think, is critical to us protecting our peace also. So,
yeah. I had a mentor that used to tell me, don't hug the cactus because you watched it grow. You know what I'm saying? You already know what the cactus going to bring to you. So, you know, you just have to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think we get attached to, as we said earlier, attached to people, right? And I mean, it's amazing the things that I can think back and the things that I allow people to do and say to me just simply because, you know, they're family members or their friends, or, you know, we've worked together so long, so I let them get away with certain things. And as the old folks say too, you teach people how to treat you by what you allow, right? So if you allow them to continue to do these things, they're gonna continue to do it, and it becomes a habit because you've conditioned them and you groomed them to actually do that to you or treat you that way, talk to you that way. So in that way, you know, you don't necessarily have to explain everything to people, but you know what I'm saying, you don't have to put up with anything that you don't want to or anything that takes away from your peace. You know, again, running from the problem isn't always the fix, but sometimes it is absolutely necessary.
Patricia, why do you think it's so hard for people to let go?
Fear. Familiarity, whatever that word is, can't get it out right now. Change. They don't like change. This is familiar. This is comfortable. They're scared. Those are a lot of the main reasons why, because those things make anybody feel like this is where I need to stay. Like they feel safe there, but they're not really safe there.
Right. Scared to let go of that the unknown.
And
You're not sure what's gonna happen over there. So
exactly.
You're like, I don't know. Will so-and-so treat me right over here? Will this be better? We run through all of those negative questions, and that's turmoil. You're literally creating this turmoil within yourself because that's what fear does. It torments. It makes you scared. Like it puts you in a fearful place.
Yeah, and any action out of fear is not good.
Right. It's like acting out of emotion, the same thing, right?
Okay, so it's a couple of things that I want to mention, as far as, again, protecting our peace. And we talked about it a little bit when we talked about our professional life, our work life, maintaining a healthy work-life balance. That's key, and that's something that I talk to my associates about all the time because I'm a manager, and I have to remind them, hey, 5:00, log out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see anybody on after a certain time because I understand we got work to do, but I understand you also got a family. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we allow what we got going on at work to spill over into our home environment. And now it's hard because a lot of us do work from home. So technically your work is your home.
Yeah.
And you allow it to kind of fester in your house, and it could disrupt your peace as well because, you know what I'm saying, you've allowed your work environment to take over your home life. So you have to find a healthy balance there as well.
Take that vacation, take that leave, do whatever.
Ken gonna have to take leave soon. Ain't you gonna have to take leave, Ken?
Oh yeah.
Nah, I ain't gotta take no leave. I work from home, brother.
There we go.
Man, I'm like, get some family medical leave, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I am good. All right. So one thing that I think April mentioned earlier too, I'm just trying to go through my list is when she was at her desk, she was talking to herself. She was saying a prayer to herself. A lot of people don't understand what meditation is, right? Now, I want to be clear because a lot of people, especially, us being Christian and our background, when we say meditation, our mind goes to prayer. Right. But a lot of people have to understand when people say meditation, they mean something just sitting there, not necessarily praying, just sitting there in silence, just letting your mind be quiet, letting your environment be quiet. And you would be amazed at the clarity that you come out with when you do that for like 15 minutes because we're so busy. We're so busy. We're so inundated with everything we got going on. We don't take a time to just stop and just do nothing for 15 minutes. It's magical. It's magical. It's a magical 15 minutes.
It is. My daughter came in last night and into my room and was like, "Why are you just sitting here with nothing on? Like no TV, no." And I was just like, I don't know. Like I was just really like not in the phone, not on the TV, and I was just chilling. But like, I got peace.
Yeah,
it's peaceful. I've been doing this since I was about 20, 22, 23 years old. I'd be up about 3 a.m. and just nothing. And it still happens for me to this day. You're up at 3 a.m. You're not paying attention to anything. You're just quiet, just relaxing. Of course, instantly, I'm a praying man, so I try to be at least. But you have those moments where it leads you into that. But you'd be surprised at how many negative thoughts you have in your head when you sit still, and you have to condition yourself to change those thoughts. So whatever you consider to be virtuous, truthful, you have to condition your mind to start thinking a different way. and doing that meditation time, that's where you can develop that at. But a lot of people don't. It's like they, soon as they wake up, they hitting and they ready to go, and they don't have time to kind of settle down and chill out.
Some people steer away from that quiet time because their mind gets real loud, and they end up having to face whatever those things are. Which I just was telling one of my friends earlier today that time, whether even if the bad thoughts come, like you said, we have to redirect our mind and think of those things and be positive, and so it's okay to address the decisions that we've made or where we are, but speak positivity in life into those things and redirect it. But if you just, I don't want to think about that, I'm gonna go do this now, I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna go whatever, like you're really not fixing nothing, and that's going to continue to be there. So I like my moments, like literally around here it's really quiet, to be honest. Like there's hardly ever any TVs on or anything, and I do a lot of thinking, but I do a lot of problem solving, and like it's a lot of that going on. And I think like at the end of the day, you end up with a better self the more you self-reflect, but speak positivity and life into it.
I did that. I did that. I love it.
Yeah.
And also, what people have to understand too, in the environment we lived in, prior to the internet age, we had times where we just, would sit and, we would do things that didn't involve the internet. That's another thing that disturbs a lot of people's peace, because you see things, you take in things daily that make you feel insufficient, that make you feel like you're not doing enough, that make you feel like you don't have enough, that make you feel like you're wasting your time because somebody else is doing something amazing with their time. It's a lot of stuff that social media, especially, what I'm saying, it disturbs your peace. So taking a break from social media is the vein of my existence, right? Like I cannot seem to do it because one reason or another, whether it's promotions for the show, whether it's just personal use, whether it's family reaching out, like I cannot tear away from social media, and I have to learn how to do that.
I would agree.
I did it for 5 years, actually.
Ooh.
I did. And before recent, I think I recently went back to Instagram, maybe Instagram, Facebook, all of that, like maybe 3 years ago. But I did it for 5 years because I noticed I was getting so irritated with the things that people post on Facebook. Like it would irritate me. Their lives, their issues with their marriage, or their dudes, or they're done, but here he is. And it's, I was like, people annoying me. Like, and I'm like, you know what?
There she go, cutting people off again.
Give her the scissors, bro. It's like she cut them off.
Come on now. 5 years. All right.
I did 5 years. I really did.
Man, it's an honor. It's an honor to be your friend.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what also is dope is that when other people who are peaceful are around you, they have that same peace that you're talking about. They can pull you away from social media. Social media becomes somewhat irrelevant to a degree where you're able to take a break because you can find what you're looking for or what you have in somebody else because their peace isn't attached to that or that. So you feel comfortable venturing away from it because they have that peace on them. It's what you have. So when y'all come together, y'all chatting, y'all talking, or whatever it may be, social media doesn't become as prevalent. And I've noticed that recently as well. So I think that's beneficial also.
I agree.
Yeah, but it's a tough one, man, because a lot of us, like I said, are low key addicted to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
One reason or another, we can't pull away from it. So it's hard, but the times that I have, like kind of stepped away from social media, like I noticed that, what I'm saying, there's a peace, there's a calm. I'm not worried about, what somebody's posting. I'm not worried about, is somebody laughing at my post? It's some, the pressures of everything that social media involves. So yeah, we all need a break from it.
Yes. Take your breaks, man. Take your breaks.
Can be social media anonymous.
Hey, you know what? I'm not the only one. A lot of probably about 80 to 90% of people on social media probably need the same thing. So
they say try to wake up and don't don't touch your phone for at
Right.
least the first, hour of your day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so hard to do. Look,
It is. 'Cause I'm saying that's what they say, but that ain't what I do.
yeah.
I be like for a good hour, and then I get up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you wake up and that's the first, it's just such easy access, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get up and, your brain's spinning. And if you're a Google guy, you get up and the first thing you're doing is you're Googling something, you know what I mean? So we have to be mindful of that.
There's
And
something.
what do you wake up in the morning and Google?
Huh?
What do you wake up in the morning and Google? What is something that
listen, I have
I'm
a
guilty of that
numbers
too.
mind. Like there's numbers always running through my mind.
You
So
woke
my
up
head is
what is
always
1
spinning.
million and a billion and what's the jackpot lottery and
I'm mad I didn't win. It was in Cali, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I played that joint. Like, dang, if I would have went to Altadena, I would have won them numbers.
Benji wakes up and Googles how tall is Pinky Triple X. That's what he'd be looking for.
I didn't even hear what you said, Ken. I'm sorry.
We know.
Yeah, we gonna run right past that. And
I'm guilty of that too, though. I Google scores. Like if I fall asleep at the end of the game, like I gotta know who won, what fourth quarter, what happened. I'm guilty of that too.
I can say I have a lot of group texts muted. And I look at my phone and see who texts, and then I'll be like,
so you noticed the Eagles lost, right?
Oh yeah, we still up there though. Don't worry about us.
Right. And the Cowboys lost too, right?
A horrible loss too, but we did get dogged though, so I can't talk too much. Cowboys lost, but you're still
but the
third.
49ers
though, so
won, right? Okay, it's just
Oh,
one week.
Hey, hold on. Before we get past this point,
it's just 1 week. It's just 1 week. It's okay.
Hold on. I get the Eagles lost. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they've been rolling. The Cowboys lost. But here's the problem. The Eagles and the Cowboys lost, and they still got a better record than the 49ers. So there you go.
So we're going to protect our peace right now.
Again, respect to the highest. It's just 1 week.
No, we're going to protect our peace right now.
We're going to protect our peace. We're going to protect our peace and move on from this.
Move on from here.
Yes, but we're going to have to bring this back. You know what I'm saying? We're getting closer to the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Patricia, I told you your team was going to get an L soon. I told you that.
Okay, we still up there though.
Yep. See, Benji's trying to damage someone else.
My peace.
He's trying to.
I'm at peace knowing that we're 8-1. Okay.
Okay. All right. I can dig that though. You know what I'm saying?
So Benji gonna get cut off. So that's what she's saying. Benji gonna get cut off.
No, she ain't gonna do that. She know we cool. She know we
gonna be user unavailable.
Now it sounds like he's next.
Okay. So
disturbing. See, that's what I do though. I disturb peace. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Especially for Cowboy fans and 49er fans.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to bring up too is, one thing that did help take me away from social media was during the pandemic, I went walking a lot, right? So I would go outside and walk, and when I would be walking, I wouldn't really look at my phone. I would put my headphones, put my AirPods in, and turn on some music and just walk. Like Benji mentioned earlier, going fishing, taking yourself away to do something, connecting with nature of some sort, will help calm things. And that usually works out. So if people are having an issue, some of you all, when you get off of work, especially if you work at home and you're in the house all day, go for a walk before it gets dark.
You do.
My daughter's father likes to play the game when he gets off work. And I used to wonder, like, why? But he says that's how he digresses and gets his mind flipped from work. He would come home, he would get on the game for a little bit and then turn it off and then function.
Right.
So he was like, that's just part of his getting himself back settled. And I was like, okay.
Okay, so Ira, what outlets do you have? What sounds like hobbies to me, right? I think we all should have some type of hobby, right? What hobbies or what are your outlets that are peaceful?
For me, it's definitely what you said initially. It's meditating. You know what I'm saying? It's spending time in silence. Before I start my day, I'm going to start it in silence. I'm not going to check the phone. I'm not going to Google. I'm not going to really just even deal with my people, until I deal with myself. I think for me, silence brings clarity. It gives me direction. It gives me my confidence. It gives me what I need in order to move forward in my day. For me, silence has been the biggest thing ever. I go for bike rides and I get peace, but it's something about sitting in silence. Like when I sit in silence, I'm empowered. And it's like the more you do it, first you find yourself being able to do it for 5 minutes. Before you know it, you're doing it 15 minutes. Then you're doing it in an hour. Then you're doing it 3 hours. And you get to this point to where you're in tune with yourself. You're able to say no to things. You're able to really do a lot of inner healing. At least that was my experience. It was rehealing my thoughts. And so just sitting with myself before I sat with the world has really transformed my life.
I do that. I sit in the car. I've actually done that. Like,
I sit in the car, like I'm
I've done
straight.
that. I mean, I gotta cook the kids in the house. No,
See, mine is cooking. So if I just get in my whole world,
Yeah.
and I just want to cook and just want to do that, like that takes me away from kind of everything. That just my creative juices start flowing. I probably got some nice music on. I'm chopping, I'm cutting. I got my little drink in my hand. And you're mixing up this whole little thing, and it's lovely. You know what I'm saying? So you get your drink. You know what I'm saying? Then
Hey, that's your piece right there. Uh-huh.
There it is. We got some piece in the cup.
Yeah, over there drinking
That's
Stella
your piece
Rosa.
right there.
I can't. Don't say it, Ken, because I'm not. I can't bash Stella Rosa no more. You know what I'm saying? They might give us a brand deal. You know what I'm saying? So
have you tasted it?
Huh?
Have you tasted it?
Stella Rosa?
The brandy.
Hell yeah, that's.
Okay. I mean, I haven't, and I'm not, but I was wondering.
Oh man.
Yes. It's like it's fruit punch.
I didn't have high expectations anyway. So.
Okay.
You've never tried it before?
No. I mean, we don't want to bash the brand, but.
Okay. See, we got to stop that because they might want to give us a deal.
Right.
So, Stella Rosa, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to be Kyrie and Kanye right now. I'm just saying.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Do that. Yeah.
Somebody, Benji.
Words belong to him. All right.
Benji, every time.
So one last thing I wanted to bring up that was on this list that is a huge thing for it. I don't care what environment you're in, whether you're at work, whether you're in your car, whether you're at home. Declutter your physical space, right? The space you spend so much time in your car. I shouldn't get in your car and you got to move the earth, heaven and earth for me to sit down in your front seat because you got so much junk in there, right? I shouldn't come to your house and you got to move stuff on your furniture just for somebody to have a seat. Like declutter your space because that clutter will lead to frustration. I guarantee you.
I just did it. That's crazy. I really just said that. Like I was coming home every day, like mad, feeling like my house is always dirty, and I don't like this. Like I was really like frustrated. And I was like, you know what? The only way my house is like this is because there's got to be too much stuff here. It's time to go room by room. And so me and the kids, we really went and was room by room, throwing stuff out, everything. So, that's true.
I personally believe that what's in your mind is in your house. And
Yeah,
that goes back to what April was saying earlier about your house being the first place of peace. Of course, it starts with you, but you represent the atmosphere that you're putting out there, right, April?
Right. I'm so big on that. Like
she ain't giving y'all no dirty house. So praise God.
Look, for real, because I was I was like, I want to take my kids' heads off, so that means something got to happen.
Well, even the simple things of separating your spaces, like I had to learn the hard way, especially us working from home. Like since I have a craft business, I had my personal computer, my work computer, my craft business. It was like all in one space at one time, and I was like, I'm gonna lose my mind. So you have to figure out ways to separate things to protect your peace.
I think another working from home, I think what happens is the house is like, oh, mom's home or dad's home. So it's always a little like, no. So there's a little sign. Don't bother me. Like,
No,
Patricia cutting everybody off. Remember,
you know what? You kind of have to,
saying
because
deuces.
yeah, that was one of the big things during the pandemic for me, because again, I got my baby girl, and at the beginning of the pandemic, she was 9 years old, and 9-year-olds, they especially daddy's girl, she gets
right,
a kick out of, okay, pandemic, that means I'm here with daddy every day. That means I can go and touch daddy every day. That means I can come and talk to him every day. And I'm like, I would be sitting at my computer with my headphones on, to be working, and she would come up behind me and just tap me every it seemed like every 30 minutes. And I'm like, like,
right.
I love you dearly, but I have to focus.
mm-hmm.
So I had to create some boundaries. So I had to look at the room and the environment I was in and say, you know what, I might have to build a wall and put a door on this man cave of mine to enclose it, just to ward off things, you know,
Yeah.
and people. So I had to create an area for myself to say, you know what, let me block out everything so I can focus. And
Mm-hmm.
that brought me peace. And also, like you said, separating spaces. Benji can tell you, I was doing the podcast. I was doing multiple podcasts at one point in time, and I had my work computer. Then I was doing T-shirts. Like, I was doing all this in the same space, and I had to break everything down to different portions of the room to make sure that everything has a space and a place to maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just true. You have to, like, when Ken first started this, right? You were doing the "You See It" shirts, right?
Yep.
So I get it. And sometimes even with us your working professional life, like, you have to sometimes stop, because you'll find yourself with 5, 10, 15 different projects, and you ain't completed hardly none of them,
Facts.
Right.
because you just all over. Like, and you
Mhm.
gotta draw yourself into that place and say, you know what, let me chill out for a minute. Let me knock this out. Let me knock that out. And that just comes from compartmentalizing. And I think that's part of our piece as well, because we're so used to going on the go, running, 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 running. And I saw somebody say everybody's in a hurry to get somewhere, but when they get there, they're disappointed when they get there, because they spent all of that time trying to get to that place, and you get there and it wasn't what you expected.
Yep.
And so we have to take the time sometimes and just slow down and recognize, like, let's just live in this moment. Let's get this accomplished, because we be in so much of a go mode, trying to be in a hurry. If we're not careful, man, we'll miss the smallest things that could literally bring us that peace that we need.
Yep.
And I
Like you
think
said.
you got to take it out here and you got to put it on paper, because when I take it out of my head and I put it on paper, it's restarting what I call a hard drive. It's just like a computer. If you keep tabs open too long and if you don't restore that laptop, it's going to get sluggish. It's going to slow down. And so when
Right.
I take things out of here and when I put them on paper, it resets my hard drive. And I think people struggle with writing things down. What am I going to do today? Let me write out a to-do list. Let me write out the to-do list for the month and let me break it down day by day. And I think that's so important, because the inside is a reflection of the outside, and the outside is a reflection on the inside. And so if my environment starts to get dirty, I know my mind is dirty. I know I need to start to rearrange some thoughts. And I think it's important to look at your environment and see what is it trying to tell you. Because if your environment on the outside, if your car is a mess, bruh, your mind is a mess, and it's time to clean it up.
Right. Keep a
Facts.
clean house, man. April, you keep a clean house?
I try. Didn't I just tell you I got 3 businesses in
I
one
try.
room?
Look,
What are the ladies
let's get
that
off
clean the
this.
side of the toilet
Okay,
set for us
let's
brothers
get
with
off this.
OCD?
April, protect your peace. Tell Benji to cut it.
That's it.
You missed the
I
first
mean,
part.
I'm just
I
saying,
said, if you're not on the mortgage or the bank account, you cannot bother me.
See that? See,
There we go. There we go.
she's totally
Yeah, that's
unbothered.
the
She's
one.
unfazed. She like, I dig it. She's got her peace. She's straight.
Right.
Oh, true.
Okay, so with everything we've said tonight, can you leave the people with a bit of advice for protecting their peace. We'll start with April. April, what do you got to say to everybody to kind of give them something to take with them tonight?
Don't be scared of therapy, because a lot, like I said before, a lot of us don't know how to protect our peace. So we don't know what our triggers are, because sometimes they're childhood traumas. So it's nothing wrong with therapy.
Okay. So Miss April, how can they find you on social media?
Oh, I got a lot going on. So Facebook, it's under my name, April McLeod. Instagram, it's Diva Ties _accessories.
Okay. Right. Well, Mr. Curry, talk to the people. Let them know something before they leave, because you left them. You know what I'm saying? You given us a couple of lift your hand moments today.
Yeah.
So leave the people with something and let them know where to find you on social media.
Yeah, I think you got to look inside. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to want your peace. I think when you're in a situation where you feel like you're not living or experiencing what you know you should be experiencing, you got to look and see who's taking away from that. And so I challenge you to, for those who are listening, I challenge you to get clear on what it is that you want. And because at the end of the day, you were sent here to be about you in a sense. It's not that you're selfish, but the more you mature and the more you lose peace because you're hanging on to things that no longer serve you in the season, you start to grow up and you realize that, hey, I got to separate in order to move forward into my next. If you guys want to follow me on social media, let's get it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like LinkedIn at Ira Carey Online. And you can connect with all my social media channels at iracarey.com/get started. See you guys there.
For sure.
Okay. Trisha Michelle, talk to the people.
Cut everybody off. No, I'm just kidding.
That's it.
Cut everybody off, and you're
no. Really though is pay attention to the triggers. Honestly, pay attention to how things or situations make you feel, because your body will give you, like, you're gonna feel it, whether it's the roller coaster feeling or you feeling yourself getting irritated, you're getting hotter, whatever it is that's disrupting your peace. Please pay attention and remember what those things are, so that you in the forefront of it can be like, this is gonna get me to this point that I'm gonna not be at peace right now. And I think you can stay ahead of that. And then just make sure, like, this is one thing I say all the time: at the end of the day, you have to wake up and you got to live your life. No one else has to live it. So make those decisions and those yeses and nos based off of what it is that you're going to be okay with dealing with the next day and throughout the day. Don't do it for nobody else. And social media. Instagram is right there at Trisha Michelle _YT. On Facebook, I'm Patricia Bynum. I am on TikTok at Trisha Michelle _. I'm on YouTube at Trisha Michelle. And then, of course, Fiyah Session. Add, subscribe, follow every Tuesday. That's what we do.
That's what we do. And
we're gonna cut you off. Don't play with us. I'm just
kidding. She'll cut you off. She sure enough will. Yes.
Benji Banks, talk to the people, man.
There's a favorite scripture of mine. It says, "Guard your heart with all discretion, for out of it flows the issues of life." So if you're really interested in protecting your peace, I had this conversation with a close friend of mine, and I said, this is important because everybody doesn't deserve the true you. Like that special you, that's like pure, that's solid, that people love, that piece of you. Like, everybody doesn't deserve that. And whether it be you giving it out in multiple relationships or whatever it may be, guard that space, because everybody doesn't deserve the true you. Like, you can have fun, you can joke with people, all of that, but never be so burnt out because you've given all of yourself, everything to everybody else. So be mindful of that. Don't give out your heart to any and everything, every slick willy, everything that can talk good, sound good, all of that, whether it be woman, male, female, whatever. Like, guard that true space, but you got to treat that like it's treasure, man. So, and to me, that starts with your peace. If you don't have it, man, you got this turmoil. You could, be in certain situations and it'll just, you just don't have it. So just guard yourself, man. Like, don't let everything affect your heart. Don't let everything in. Make some people earn that space in your heart, because you don't know what their true intentions are from meeting them 1 or 2 days or a week or two. Make them earn that space in your life.
Okay.
And y'all know me, man. Y'all listen, we here every week. Go subscribe on the YouTube channel. IG, you know where to find me at. I mean, I ain't hard to find. I'm the dude in all the red. So
He's on Instagram.
What you say? What you say, Patricia?
All right.
Did she say something?
No,
the Eagles lost. All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Benji. Benji, are you finished?
I'm finished. I'm finished.
All right.
I know she said something smart. I didn't hear her. So
With it.
All right. So I'll leave you with words from one of our hip hop poets named Big Sean. In one of his bars, he said, "Use your head, but guard your heart." That's what we need to go by. Use your head, but keep in mind that, not everybody, like Benji was saying, has your best interest at heart. So that's the real way to protect your peace. You know what I'm saying? Move intelligently. Don't move with your emotions. Think about the strategy behind it as well. So, you know what I'm saying? Follow those things and, things will work out a little bit better for you. Oh, so you can find me at Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Facebook. You can find us at the Fiyah Session. You can go to any social media platform, hit that search bar, type in FIYAH session, and we'll pop right up. YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button, hit that little bell so you'll know when we got new content popping up and when we go live, because we want you to jump in the comments as many people did today. We appreciate you all tuning in because we love doing these shows live so we can have the live interaction and feedback from our people. So we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tune in every Tuesday at 7:30.
Next week is gonna be bananas, yo. Like, we got our yes. Y'all coming. We got a dope interview coming for y'all.
So make sure you tune in. Again, we appreciate our guests for joining us today, Mr. Ira Curry, Miss April McLeod, as usual, Benji Banks, the man, the brand, and our first lady, Trisha Michelle. We appreciate you. Y'all already know
what she'll cut you off, fella.
It's the Fiyah Session. We about to cut y'all off. All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Fiyah Session. Follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fiyah Session.